Maybe at some point I will ask you to look at Bhagavad Gita. We'll just be looking at verses 14 through 19. I'm going to start.
Picture that.
Yes.
I'll have that ready to be posted by the time.
Yeah, I will start with the 17, 19. So just a translation.
Just a translation.
Yes. Go. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 21st chapter, conversations between Manu and Kardama, and we're going to go from text 33 to 56. Oh my God. Wow. Yes. Speed reading.
Text 33. My trail went on, thus having spoken to Cardamom, the Lord who reveals himself only when the senses are in Krishna consciousness, departed from that lake called Bindu Sarovar, which was encircled by the river Saraswati.
While the sage stood looking on, the Lord left by the pathway leading to Vaikuntha, a path extolled by the great Lord's. The sage stood listening as the hymns forming the bases of the Samaveda were vibrated by the flapping wings of the Lord's carrier, Garuda.
Then, after the departure of the Lord, the worshipful sage Kardama stayed on the bank of Bindu Sarovar, awaiting the time of which the Lord had spoken.
Swayambhuva Manu with his wife mounted his chariot, which was decorated with golden ornaments. Placing his daughter on it with them, he began traveling all over the earth.
Oh, Vidura, they reached the hermitage of the sage, who had just completed his vows and stared on the very day before the Lord.
Not only lake of Bindu Sarupara, flooded by the waters of the river Saraswati, was resorted to by a host of eminent sages. Its flowing waters were not only auspicious but as sweet as nectar. It was called Bindu Sarupara because drops of tears had fallen from the eyes of the Lord, who was overwhelmed by extreme compassion for the sage who had sought his protection.
The shore of the lake was surrounded by clusters of ice trees and creepers, rich in fruits and flowers of all seasons, and it afforded shelter to pious animals and birds, which uttered various cries. It was adorned by the beauty of groves of forest trees.
The area resounded with the notes of overjoyed birds, intoxicated fools formed with joy, intoxicated peacocks proudly danced, and merry cuckoos called one another.
Lake Bindu Sarovar is adorned by flowering trees such as Kadamba, Dampaka, Ashoka, Aranja, Bakula, Asa, Kunda, Kara, Kuka, and young mango trees. The air was filled with the pleasing notes of Tarandava, ducks, lavas, swans, ospreys, waterfowl, cranes, chakravakas, and chakors.
Its shores abundant with deer, boars, porcupine, gavayas, elephants, baboons, lions, monkeys, mongooses, and musk deer.
Entering that most sacred spot with his daughter and going near the sage, the first monarch, Swayambhuva Manu, saw the sage sitting in his hermitage, having just propitiated the sacred fire by pouring oblations into it. His body shone most brilliantly, though he had engaged in austere penance for a long time. He was not emaciated, for the Lord had cast his affectionate sidelong glance upon him, and he had also heard the nectar flowing from the moonlight words of the Lord. The sage was tall, his eyes were large, like the petals of a lotus, and he had matted locks on his head. He was clad in rags, so Swayambhuva Manu approached and saw him to be somewhat soiled like an unpolished gem.
Seeing that the monarch had come to his hermitage and was bowing before him, the sage greeted him with benedictions and received him with due honor.
After receiving the sage's attention, the king sat down and was silent, recalling the instructions of the Lord. Kardam then spoke to the king as follows. Present delighting him with his sweet accents.
The Tory you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the virtuous and kill the demons, since you embody the protecting energy of Sri Hari.
When necessary, you assume the part of the sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the lord of paradise, Vayu, the wind god, Yama, the god of punishment, Dharma, the god of height, and Varuna, the god presiding over the waters. All distances to you, who are none other than Lord Vishnu.
Yes.
If you did not mount your victorious jewel chariot, whose mere presence threatens culprits, if you did not produce fierce sounds by the twanging of your bow, and if you did not roam about the world like a brilliant sun, leading a huge army whose trampling feet caused the globe of earth to tremble, that all the moral laws governing the varnas and ashrams created by the Lord himself will be broken by goals and rascals.
If you give up all thought of world situation, unrighteousness would flourish. A man would hanker only after money would be unopposed. Such miscreants would attack and the world would perish.
And finally,
In spite of all this, I ask, O valiant king, purpose for which you have come here, whatever it may be, you should carry it out without reservation.
okay, that's a lot to digest. Let us go to text 45 through 47. And we're going to read text 47. Yeah. We're actually going to start with Pramchum. Pramchum Padma Palaksham. Prashum Padma Palasaksham. Jatilam Chidabasasam. Jatilam Chidabachasam. Upasamsritya Malinam. Upasamsritya Malinam. Yatarhanam Samskritam. Prashum Padma Palasaksham. Jatilam Chidabasasam. Upasamsritya Malinam. Yatarhanam Samskritam.
Prashum Padma Palashaksham.
Prashum Padma Palashaksham. Jatilam Chidabasasam.
Upasam Shritya Malinam.
Upasamsritya Malinam.
Yatarhanam Asamskritam.
Yatarhanam Samskritam. One more person. Prashum Padma Palashaksham. Yatilam Shirabasasam. Upasamsritya Malinam. Yatarhanam Samskritam. You have to go down because yeah. Oh, we'll just go down there. Just go to the translation. Okay, there we go. Prashum, tall. Padma, lotus flower. Palasha, petal. Aksham, eyes. Jatilam, matted locks. Shirabhasasam, having rags as clothes. Upasamsritya, having approached. Malinam, soil. Yatha, like. Arhanam, gem. Sanskritam, unpolished. Translation? Somebody like to?
Entering that most sacred spot with his daughter and going near the sage, the first monarch, Swayambhuva, saw the sage sitting in his hermitage, having just propitiated the sacred fire by pouring oblations into it. His body shone most brilliantly. Though he had engaged in austere penance for a long time, he was not initiated, for the Lord had cast his affectionate sidelong glance upon him, and he had also heard the nectar flowing from the moonlight words of the Lord. The sage was tall, his eyes were large, like the petals of the lotus. He had metal locks on his head. He was clad in rags. So Swayambhuva approached and saw him to be somewhat soiled, like an unpolished gem.
Somebody like to read the purport?
Here are some descriptions. Here are some descriptions of a brahmachari yoga. In the morning, the first duty of a brahmachari seeking spiritual elevation is Kutatapasana, to offer sacrificial oblations to the Supreme Lord. Those engaged in brahmacharya cannot sleep until 7 or 9 o'clock in the morning.
Note.
They must
Go ahead.
They must rise early in the morning, at least 1.5 hours before the sun rises, and offer oblations. Or in this age, they must chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna. As referred to Lord Chaitanya, there is no other alternative in this age to chanting the holy name of the Lord. The brahmachari must rise early in the morning and, after placing himself, should chant the holy name of the Lord. From the very features of the sage, it appeared that he had undergone great austerities. That is the sign of one observing brahmachari, the vow of celibacy. If one lives otherwise, it will be manifested in the lust visible in his face and body. The word Vijyotamanam indicates the brahmachari feature showed in his body. That is a certificate that one has undergone great austerity in yoga. A drunkard, or smoker, or sex monger can never be eligible to practice yoga. Generally, yogis look very skinny because of their not being comfortably situated. But Kardama Muni was not initiated, for he had seen the personality of Godhead face to face. Here the word Snigdha Pangavalokana means that he was fortunate enough to see the Supreme Lord face to face. He looked healthy because he had directly received the nectarian sound vibrations from the lotus lips of the personality of God. Similarly, one who hears the transcendental sound vibration of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, also improves in health. We have actually seen that many brahmacharis and grihastas connected with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness have improved in health, and a luster has come to their faces. It is essential that a brahmachari engaged in spiritual advancement look very healthy and lustrous. The comparison of the sage to an unpolished gem is very appropriate. Even if a gem just taken from a mine looks unpolished, the luster of the gem cannot be stopped. Similarly, although Kardama was not properly dressed and his body was not properly cleansed, his overall appearance was gem-like.
Amadhyanathmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Vidamyena Tasmat Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitamyena Ayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dapati Svabhatam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Punityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauri Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for having me here today. This is a very inspiring verse. Did anybody feel inspired by reading this verse? Is anybody still awake? Yeah. This verse talks to us about many things, but mainly it's talking to us about austerity. Austerity, the wealth of the Brahman, right? Well, first of all, why did we begin Pransum if it started something before? Did you notice that? That I told you that it started Pransum? You can go up. To the verse itself. Starting Pransum. Well, actually, there was a little typo in the I don't know if it's, I think it's yeah, it's in here in the database and not in the book. So because actually the previous verse has three it generally, like a verse, you see that it has like 2 lines, right? This one had 3 lines. So that's why it was like a little bit like, oh, where does this go? But anyway, it's important for us to note that, well, here's a question. If you see a typo, how do you deal with it?
Start a movement.
You start a movement. That's the correct answer. Yes.
Let it go.
Let it go. Why? Why would you let it go? I mean, isn't this showing the fallacy of of the man-made written structure there?
I think in the first canto in Narada's instructions to Diaz, I think one of the purports mentions how these literatures, even though imperfectly
Composed.
I forget the exact verse, but imperfectly composed, but it doesn't mean that they're not valid and can transmute.
Exactly. These, yes, there may be some human fallacy here and there, especially when we're transcribing things, right? Even the copy paste is not perfect, right? But that doesn't mean that the message itself doesn't have potency to it, right? We're not just talking about simple words. We're talking about words that are transmitting transcendental sound vibration. And because of that, they're like the rod in the fire. If you touch it, it will electrify you. Yeah. So now let's go into the verse itself. And it says here that from the very features of the sage, it appeared that he had undergone great austerities. That is the one observing, that is a sign of one observing brahmacharya. So everybody here is brahmacharya, brahmacharini, or vanaprastha, right? So pretty much this throughout all of this, and yeah, even in Grihastha ashram, you have austerities. What type of austerities is different for each varna and ashram. But this austerities is important because with that you're able to obtain something. Can tell me what you can obtain with austerity?
Diploma.
You can obtain a diploma, exactly. How many hours does a student generally study by the time that he has graduated with a bachelor's degree? I'm not even going for medical, right? I'm just going for regular, 4-year bachelor's degree. How many hours?
Depends on how many hours are left after party.
Yes, but by the time that they graduate in their life, they have studied somewhere between 30 to 45,000 hours. 30 to 45,000 hours of studying throughout their lives, going from kindergarten all the way here. That is about, it goes from 3 years, 5 months to 5 years and 1.4 months.
Almost 4 years.
Yeah. So if you take into effect that when you graduate here at 21 years old, and take away the years of sleeping, which is a third of your life, which is 7 years by that time, you're left with 14 years. So of the 14 years, by the time that you graduate here at 21 years old, you have lived awake 14 years. And of those 14 years, 5 years you have spent studying, just studying. Just to be able to make a living. Just to pay your debt, exactly. that you now have on those 4 years that you spent in college. Right? So that is a lot of austerity. There's a huge amount of austerity. And a lot of them don't even know what to do after that. After all that austerity, they are even like, I don't know what to do with my life. So we are performing a lot of austerity. The person who goes to the gym, and pumps up, they're doing a lot of austerity. The woman who goes in, to get all of the lifts and things on the body like that, they're performing austerities, right? The person trying to win the Nobel Prize, the person trying to get the Olympic gold medal, all of them are performing. You cannot obtain anything really without some austerity, either in this lifetime or in a previous lifetime. Because sometimes we see like, oh, well, this person didn't do anything. Yeah, did you see his last lifetime? So austerity is something that allows you to get something. But for a brahmachari, it is not just performing austerities, right? Because all of these people are performing austerities. You can get someone performing austerities, but they're under guidance. That's the second thing. And now this person that is performing austerity under guidance, but there are other people who are performing austerities under guidance, right? Like the PhDs. So no, those are not brahmacharis. Performing austerities under guidance for the purpose of self-realization. So that is important. Performing austerities under guidance for purpose of self-realization. Now you have somebody who's doing brahmacharya. If you actually want to see like all of the duties of brahmachari or any other ashram, you can go to Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 12th chapter. Especially in the very beginning, starting from verse 1 all the way through down, it will tell you like this is what brahmachari is supposed to do. This is what grihastha is supposed to do. This is what each one of them, and especially brahmachari, it gives you like good definitions of it. So it's you can look it up. But I want to God bless you. I want to go more into what are the different types of austerities. In the Bhagavad Gita, it tells us what are the different types of austerities. So can you pull up the Bhagavad Gita 17:19? Mm-hmm.
Is that austerity of mind and austerity of body?
Yes, we will. That is exactly where I'm going. Yeah. Well, it begins with, let's divide the austerities into 3 types. The modes of material nature. Ooh. So you have austerities in mode of ignorance. We're going to start with that one. Penance performed out of foolishness, with self-torture, or to destroy or injure others, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So people can perform austerities, right? So to destroy or injure others. There are tantrics that are performing great austerities to injure others, to do like that. Any examples of those that you have seen in the Vedas? Oh, that's a very good one, right?
What do you say?
I think his name was Nakrasur. He worshiped Lord Shiva by cutting off his flesh and throwing it into a fire. And Lord Shiva appeared to him, and he asked him, "What do you what do you want?" And he said, "I want, if I touch somebody's head, that it would crack, kill him." And so Shiva reluctantly gave him the benediction, and then Nakrasura tried to touch Lord Shiva's head. And then he was actually tricked by Vishnu in the form of a Brahmana boy, I think, premature boy. Oh, Shiva, he's covered with ashes. He hangs out with crematory. You can't believe anything he says. And he tricks him into touching his own head. So.
Yes. So then you have these people that are performing great austerities, but for bad purposes, right? For evil purposes, for purposes that to injure others, self-torture, in the purport here, yeah, Prabhupada mentions that out of foolishness, asking for things that are impossible. And then the previous verse, 18, it says, penance performed out of pride and for the sake of gaining respect, honor, and worship, said to be in the mode of passion, is neither stable nor permanent. An example of that, think about when there is a fad in the brahmachari ashram or brahmacharini ashram. Let's all do this. For example, an eating contest, right? Let's see how many gulab jamuns we can eat, right? Is that good for you? No, it's terrible for you. But
It depends if it's offered.
But it's like, yeah, well, I can do it. I can, yeah, come on, yeah. Oh, I can't. Come on, do it. Yeah, that. Yeah, it's an austerity, performing austerity. What is the purpose of it? Honor, worship. Yeah, you did it, great, right? Number one, and then right. So we're performing austerities also in mode of passion. It's important that we recognize how these things apply to our lives. Where are these things coming into? The Bhagavatam is very, very real. It is but if we only look at it like, yeah, it's something that I have to hear, for an hour in the morning like that, and it's like, okay, it's my austerity to eat prasadam in the morning. And it's like, okay, you'll get some benefit, but try to see how it applies to you, and then it will blow up your mind. And then there is austerity in the mode of goodness. And you can go to 1717. So, yes, because this threefold austerity performed with transcendental faith for men, not expecting material benefits, but engaged only in the sake of the supreme, is called austerity in the mode of goodness. So, austerity in the mode of goodness is a threefold austerity. So now we're going to divide it into further three. It was what Prabhu there was saying. And one is that it's not expecting material benefits. That's the first thing. You're not expecting material benefits. And is engaged only for the sake of the supreme. That means that you you're not thinking of what can I get out of it, but what can Krishna get out of it. So, so go up to 14. Yes. So austerity of the body consists of worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master and superiors, like the father and the mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. First one, austerity of the body. So in the text that we read today, it was like, oh, austerity means I just get up early in the morning before sunrise, 1.5 hours before sunrise, and I'm good, and chant my rounds. Well, that's very important, and that will take you long, but it's not enough. Austerity of the body here.
That's what 16th chapter Krishna is explaining.
Yeah, actually, this is 17th chapter.
Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, this is Bhagavad Gita, 17th chapter. So, austerity of the body is telling us, worship, doing puja, the verse is puja, of the Lord, the Brahmanas, spiritual masters, superiors, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Let that sink in, things to work on ourselves. How cleanly am I? How cleanly is my ashram? Especially the bathroom. Oh my God. Dun, dun, dun. How simple am I? How much do I really control my senses in celibacy? How non-violent am I? Right? Okay. Next step. Austerity of what is the next austerity? Text 15. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. So, I once heard this Mataji telling me, this Prabhu telling me that she had gone to a temple, and she was told by the person, like, okay, so how many did you read the book that I gave you last week? She was a newcomer, by the way. No, and the person had like a little pamphlet, rolled it up, and you should read it next time. And then this very zealous brahmachari sat with her and her husband to tell them all about the fallen condition of the grihastas.
Where was that?
So in an ISKCON temple, back in the day. Back in the day.
I hope not.
It was in the West.
Ooh.
Yes. And then the brahmachari took his prasadam and went to, happily, at the end of the program to sleep, happy that he had told the truth. Now, was it truthful? Yes, it was completely truthful. He quoted from the Vedas. But was it pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others? No, not at all. Zero. Zero. As Prabhupada says. Zero.
He's got accent,
Yes. So was there austerity of speech in there? No. The person, that brahmachari and that brahmacharini may have felt very good that they did their job, but they actually didn't accomplish. They didn't actually read the memo. They did not accomplish what they were actually setting out to do, because of this lack of austerity in speech. Text 16. Satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. So for the mind, satisfaction, oh my God, how can I make my mind satisfied? Not even in dreams, we are not satisfied.
Yes, may I ask a question about purification of our existence? When I'm attached in the material world to hanker and lament, is the right understanding to have Mada Mohan? It's the same hankering and lamenting, but I'm transferring the desire to Krishna's pastimes instead of my own pastimes.
That is part of it. So, in purification of one's existence, we're trying to do exactly what you're doing here, which is how performing. I'm trying to perform acts that will engage my mind in Krishna. And that part of it is hearing about Krishna's pastimes so that I can think about them. Also, by when you're engaging your mind for Krishna in different services, that is also helping. That is also helping you. So, how much can you hear about Krishna throughout the day? Unless you become a Babaji, right? It's there are going to be a lot of time. There's going to be a lot of time. When you read, okay, even if you're a great reader, you'll read like for 2 hours, right? Are you going to read for 7 hours a day? Probably not. But you're going to be doing work for Krishna in different ways. So when you're working for Krishna and doing that, that is also, and trying to connect what you're doing with him, you're purifying your existence there. So therefore, even when you leave this ashram, you can be purifying your existence, even if you're not constantly hearing about him 24 hours a day. You are constantly engaging your mind in him. You'll be thinking about all the things that you've read, that you like that, and you're especially when you apply it in your own life, you'll be constantly, oh yes, I remember this thing about this, and then you're trying to put it like, yes, now I can apply it in this. When you have a problem, for example, with a devotee, does that ever happen to you? You know, some authority, some roommate. Never happens, really. How do you deal with that? Well, you can just go back to basics and lash out and criticize and create politics and all these things. But you can also start thinking like, wait, this will actually create a really tense situation in an atmosphere that I want to cultivate to bring me and bring others to a higher state of existence. So how can I work out things with him for the sake of the mission? Let me put my petty problems with this person to the side so that I can reach a higher level with that person. And that when somebody comes into that door, they can feel that this is different, that there is a harmony here that I don't find anywhere else in the world. I want to be in this place because I see the loving reciprocation between the people. You have a question?
No, Well, not a question, but a relatable statement.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of roommates in the past 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and every roommate I have, they tell me, "Oh wow, you're such a great roommate." Alice is the best roommate, you know. And the reason is because usually what I do with conversations in a setting with a person I don't know, I usually I call it come with a cup empty instead of come with a cup full, and just let them talk for the first like week. And I'm usually quiet, chanting, and I'm listening. And then I add in like that's when I start like making the door of a two-way now. Because conversations can't just be a one-way street, it has to be a two. And you have to be a listener. You can't just be talking to somebody and then you're not really even taking what they're saying. You're just hearing the noise. And then there's also in the Quran it says, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu wa qulu qawlan sadida." It's oh, you believe, fear God and always speak the truth. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna speak the truth, like Krishna said, it's a way to go about it. You can't just truth bomb, bam. You know what I mean? Like people get offended. And in them type of environments, especially when we're locked in at certain times of the day, you know, and we're talking about this, you know, scripture, it could be world stuff, politics, whatever. It could get really finicky because people have their viewpoints and opinions. And usually what I do is I call it a positive negative sandwich. I give it a positive first, and then I explain the negative, and then I end it with a positive. So they can end it with like oh, okay, yeah, and it relieves their tension, and they can still keep their little bubble that makes them feel comfortable.
It's very good. These are very good tips for living with co-living with other people. And it's important because you're trying to create here an atmosphere that will attract people to Krishna consciousness, right? But what is the most attractive thing right now in the world? What are people really seeking?
Peace.
They're really seeking peace and love. That they're not getting out there. They're getting a lot of things out there. You're not here coming and saying like, hey, here's a crypto scheme. Right? You know, come in here, or you know, here's the latest Tupperware. You know, what are you offering here? You're offering here really an atmosphere that they want to come into. You're offering here a community that they want, that they can be attracted to and they can fit in. So many students, especially freshmen, they're coming here looking for where can I fit in.
We also got bottomless.
We also got yes, tapa. But when they come in here, they want to feel that atmosphere that, oh, I can fit in here. There's a love between everyone that I don't find anywhere else. That sweetness of Krishna consciousness is what you can offer to them. Offer to them that sweetness of that you have experienced here. The possibility to experience the love of Sri Radha and Sri Krishna, of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gaur Nitai. You know, that sweetness of the six Goswamis. Let them for once experience Vrindavan Dham. Let them go to Vrindavan Dham and know what it is like there. Let them go to Mayapur and dance their heart out. But they will not go all the way to India and experience all of this if they see people here that are disconnected from each other. Yes.
And I was about to say earlier, saying leaving aside how petty issues that we might have. I was about to say, But Prabhu, my issues are not heavy, they're important.
Yes, yes. We our world is the most important. And everybody should know about that. So I'm going to put it on Facebook so that everybody can comment on it. So whether it's here or online, always try to make an atmosphere where people can be pleased by being around the devotees. When they come here, that they feel inspired, that they go like, wow, I want to join this community. I want to come to the Mangalarti. I want to perform austerities with you guys. Nobody's going to perform austerities unless they feel that something is worth it. Chanting how many rounds? For how long? 2 hours of my day? You know, you're expecting me to, you're expecting me to leave meat eating, gambling. You're also expecting me to have no sex in college?
You gotta show me
Right?
money.
Exactly. You're expecting me not to do any gambling like that. Like, if you see the value in this, you will do it. But how do you see the value? When you see that loving relationship with each other, then they'll go like, wow, I want that. That's what they're gonna see. It's like that they're so cool. I want to be with them. I want to hang out with them. I want to learn with them. And that's not just a one person thing. It's all of you together, working together. When they see like, yeah, like there's a group of people that love to be with each other. I want to be there too. And that's what will give us. That's how we can transform people's hearts. Let us be welcoming in that sense by, first of all, transforming ourselves here, and then overflooding that love that we have here with everyone else. Last comment?
Oh, wait, is the draft coming?
Yes.
Okay, I have a quick comment. I'm gonna do. There was this, before Prabhupada, other preachers came to the West. There was one Swami came to England. And one Lord was taking on his teachings, and at some point he asked Swami, "Can you make me a Brahmin?" And Swami said, "Well, it's very easy. Just follow this 4 of the principles, list them all." The Lord looked at him and said, "This is crazy. Nobody will follow you." So he never did it. But Prabhupada came, established 4 of the principles to the hippies who denied any authority. Prabhupada gave him the ultimate authority. But they were able to accept him because he was so loving and caring. Even like you said, they were able to give up something because they were getting something better. Just such a good example.
Mm-hmm. That is a perfect example of, yeah, Prabhupada showed them the value of this by his love. That love is what will transform, not so much the Bible, the Gita dumping, not so much that, not so much the arguments on Facebook. Oh yeah, well, my religion is better than you. It will be really by love, by that love that is felt among everyone, and that love has to be worked through relationships. Okay, let us put aside these things. Let's put Krishna and the mission higher. And how can we really work through our problems? Let us put aside our ego and help each other. And that is a great austerity. The greatest austerity is to do this. Of all these austerities, that is the greatest. You will show your love to me by how you cooperate with each other. That was Prabhupada's last statement. Yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Austerities for the sake of self-realization ki. Jai Gaura Premanande. Mahaprasade Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Svalpa Punya Bhatam Rajai Vishwasana Pajayate